Hello, what is up? Welcome back to Star Wars Culture. My name is Hannah, and that is Jordan there next to me.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
who
is.
I am anymore.
Oh, love it. Welcome back to the show. We got an excellent show with a whole bunch of goss to get into. We're going to be talking about conventions and specifically international conventions because all three of us here, are going to be experiencing different conventions around the world, and we're going to compare our experiences and what was involved. But like I just said, we have three people here today. We've got a very special guest with us. Returning to the show, we have the Nikk Downs with us. Hey, welcome back to the show, Nikk. How are you doing today? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been working a lot and trying to get a lot done. If a lot of you don't know, but my friends know, I've gone Hollywood, as my parents like to say. I've been going to a lot of different Disney events and have a lot of just great, times. And lately I've just been binging different shows and movies to prep for obviously the big movie coming out tomorrow. Binging and getting ready, but it's been a good time. I've missed this podcast. Okay,
Excellent. The way I'm so proud of you.
The last time that I was on this podcast, I was still living at home. I don't believe
it was a good couple months ago.
My new place yet.
Yeah,
and so this is I live in LA now, which is crazy. But I am moving to Long Beach I'm an idiot. I'm moving to Anaheim, closer to Disneyland and all that good stuff. So,
epic.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got an absolute celebrity on our hands here.
I know.
I feel
Mark Hamill, who?
Yeah, got nothing on Nikk Downs. Brilliant. Well, it's going to be so exciting. We've got so much to get into today. It's going to be great to talk with you, Nikk. And as well, if you jump into the comments, we're talking all about conventions. So be sure to drop a comment down below about a convention experience you've had that we can possibly talk about on the show. But with that, let's get into the discussions this week.
Real quick.
Should I do some plugs? I didn't plug anything. Can you plug me?
Yeah, you should definitely. Okay, I'll plug you and then I'll get into what I was about to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just on the. It's all downhill from here. It's fine. We have okay, because I was looking at the notes and I was like, these are not worded the way. No, but it's fine. So we have our Instagram and our Twitter for the show specifically. That is SW Culture Pod. You can follow those if you want to see some spicy stuff. It's really not all that spicy. But it's great all the same.
I'm just imagining Jordan in a Leia bikini, and that's what the whole account.
That's what it is.
That's you should.
That's the whole account.
Photo shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. If we get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, I'll do it.
Cool. Awesome.
I'll do it. You only have a few weeks left, so
amazing. Yeah.
And then our sister parent company, something like that. I don't know. Parent. Culture Slate has all their wonderful YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Patreon is a thing. Please subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Culture Slate. And I think that's it for now.
We're all over there. Thank you. Yeah, I completely forgot about all our plugs. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
follow us all over there. Awesome.
Before we get to the meat and potatoes, as I like to call it, The Last Jedi turns 4 years old today.
Yeah. That's a good way to start the show.
Yeah. 4 years ago.
Movie.
4 years ago. Yes, it was released into theaters, and that is what I call the beginning of the bullshit. I loved the movie. Hannah loved the movie. Nikk loved the movie, but TikTok wants to tell me it didn't, and people did not like it. They even like to tell me that I didn't like the movie, and if I did like the movie, clearly I know nothing about Star Wars. I know nothing.
Dude, the movie is good when you don't have a little bitch in your ear telling you it's not.
Exactly. Right? So there's.
And I don't know about you guys, but I saw the. I
love him.
I love how it covered me. But I don't know about you guys, but I rewatched the trailer for it today because it is that anniversary. So, and I was like watching the trailer, and I'm like, damn, this was a good movie. This was like cinematic. It was epic. Like, come on, it was a good movie. Yeah. But Nick, you're a big fan. You're a big fan of Last Jedi.
I think that I like Star Wars when it is weird. I like when it's weird. Mm-hmm. I like when they do stuff that you don't see all that much. I like when Star Wars is so unique that it's, out of the box. It's out, doing stuff that we never see before. That's why I like the episode of Star Wars Rebels where they like go into the Force and there's like all the Force portals and they look through different moments in Star Wars history. Like that is my jam. And when
I love it.
When like Last Jedi starts doing that crazy stuff of like you don't need to be a legacy to like have the Force, and it's like we got this badass woman Rey that is just going off and she's learning about how to deal with both the light side and the temptations of the dark side and learning how to be a nobody and learning how to come from her own story. Like,
it's good. It is good. Yeah, and I like that. Like we just said, the whole like story of like Rey's direction. Like she starts to like define herself as a epic storyline, epic storytelling. There, I love it. Oh, so good. But good shout out. I would have forgotten that, Jordan. I would have totally forgotten to mention that. But
You're welcome.
4 years went quick. 4 years that went very quickly.
Literally.
Wonderful. Right. All right. Let's get into some conversation about conventions because it's convention season apparently because we've been to a bunch. All three of us been to a bunch recently. I've been to the recent Oz Comic Con here in Sydney. Being Australian, went to the Australian one. Went to the Sydney Comic Con.
That's the only reason she went because she's Australian.
Right. It's only because I'm here. Yeah. And had an amazing time.
My water keeps splashing everywhere.
But it's going to be interesting because this, I don't know if you guys know, but this was my first ever convention. So I was a complete convention virgin before this, like 2 weeks ago. Awesome. Yeah.
Love that.
So it was my first ever convention, which is going to be interesting, contrasting, because Nick, it sounds like you're quite, actually both you and Jordan are seasoned convention goers.
I would say that's a little overestimating my abilities, but I'll take the compliment.
Yeah. So I at one point I just decided to let convention going consume my being. So if anything, it's an understatement for me. So yeah.
Awesome. So I feel like we got different tiers then, different tiers of goers. I love that so much.
I think your audio literally.
Hannah, I can't hear you.
Hannah, your mic went out.
I love that for
I
us.
can just hear her swearing in Australian, like in an Australian like tone. I can just hear her swearing right now.
Pick one. Hello.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. This is hilarious. I can. I'm assuming you can hear me, but I can't hear anything. So yes. Jordan, I'm going to take the reins here for a second, Jordan, because I can't hear.
So while Hannah figures her life out, I mean, I've been going to conventions since my sophomore year in college, which is the absolute worst time to start going to conventions because, you're supposed to be in college focusing on your grades. And I 100% needed to be in school, in classes, and in tutoring every chance I got. Does that mean I did it? Absolutely not. But yeah, I just... my first one was Fan Expo Dallas. I think it was called Dallas Comic Con at the time, but then Comic Con International pulled the Fine Brothers and was like, "We're gonna sue everyone." So they changed the name to something else, which was Fan Expo Dallas, and that's kind of like my go-to show every year. Was Super Upsetty Spaghetti when it didn't happen last year because of good old COVID. That one I go to a lot. I also go to one called RTX, which is like, if you know who Rooster Teeth is, Red versus Blue, Ruby, those people, Achievement Hunter. That's always a great time too. It's in Austin, Texas. I haven't been to any out of state ones yet. So But hopefully that'll change. And I'll tell you guys why that'll change a little later.
Fun
But
little
Nikk,
behind the scenes
tell
fact.
me-
Jordan and I were supposed
tell
to
me
go
and
to
tell
a
all
con
these beautiful
together.
people about the amazing time you had at LA Comic Con. That's what it was called, right?
You know, I wish I could have gone to the one that you wanted me to go to. Out
Nick,
in Texas.
hello, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, now I feel like Jordan's having the technical
I
difficulties.
can't
now.
hear anybody.
Yes. Okay, Hannah, you can
Wow,
hear me,
this-
all right?
I can hear you. You can
Okay,
keep
great.
going. Keep going.
What's
Whatever.
going on?
Jordan, check your mic.
Wow,
Goober.
wow, that's crazy. We're both switching it up. That's hilarious.
Goober. Yeah, so
Okay.
behind the
Let us
scenes
know.
knowledge, Jordan and I were supposed to go to a con in, I believe it was Texas. It was the one that he had invited me to be a guest when you guys were doing your show at the Comic-Con, but I couldn't make my way out there. I was just too busy. I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am not a veteran con goer. I'm still a beginner. I went to WonderCon back in 2018. No, 2018. And
1956.
yeah, exactly. And then me and a buddy, we decided we were going to go as Captain America and Spider-Man. Just because at the time, like, you know, we were still riding the Civil War high and Far From Home was coming out. And we were like, yes, let's do like Spider-Man and Cap. And so he went as Cap and I went as Far From Home Spidey. And it was fun. But it was definitely, it was weird because it was your first one and you really don't know what to expect. And you don't know anybody. And so you show up. And we showed up in normal clothes and then we changed into cosplay. We took our photos. And then
Nacha had an outfit change.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Padme.
Yeah, we totally had an outfit change. And we hung out and we walked the floor. We met a lot of cool people, took our photos. And then we shopped and then we walked because we were just like, yeah, it's only like a mile and a half away. Let's just walk it. And so we walked in our Spidey and Captain America suit, a mile and a half in like normie Anaheim, not Disney Anaheim, not Con Anaheim, normie Anaheim. And people were staring at us left and right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Yeah. Because I think that's something like with the cosplaying, like, because you're so involved in it at times, you kind of forget that there is like another world where people don't do that or like see that often. So they just go, what are you doing?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, right.
And so it was like, you know, doing that and getting that first con experience, I was like, all right, cool. I get it now. Like, this is what to expect. This is what I need to bring next time around. You know, this is what we're going to rock. And I was like, all right, cool. So LA Comic-Con was kind of weird in the sense that I was invited as a content creator or press, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it was weird in the sense that this was different this time around. I was there solely to take photos and stand at a booth and walk around and engage with people, make videos, you know, do that whole thing. And so, you know, I did that and everything, and I enjoyed my time, and I went with a lot of other content creators, you know, and it was fun. I mean, this time around, it was actually fun because we had a good time and we were able to actually enjoy what we do, which is making videos and all that good stuff. And it was just such a better time around. And I got to see Tom Kenny and, you know, the SpongeBob guys. I got to see Bruce Campbell from, you know, Ash from the Evil Dead and, you know, all that good stuff. And, you know, I got to be in the second row of Giancarlo Esposito and Ming-Na Wen when they were doing their panel. And I was just like dying because this is like exactly what we want to do. Right. It was so much fun this time around. I debuted my first cosplay as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and everyone loved it. And it was so much fun. But yeah, it was so much more fun this time around. Granted, there were some issues. There were definitely some issues. There were some people that I did not like. But overall, it was a very fun experience, and I'm very excited for Star Wars Celebration coming in May. I'm very excited.
Oh yeah.
For I believe there's the WonderCon in April, and then I'm excited for San Diego Comic-Con coming back for July, August next year as well. So I'm very excited.
Oh, there's so much going on, and yeah, like you said, with the just going back to your first walking the floor and experiencing that, and I think it changes from time to time from different conventions, and different conventions have different feels. Going off kind of what you're talking about with your first experience with it, I'll jump on the back of that as well and share, because like I said before, like OzCon being my first experience, because that was I remember like walking in the doors and obviously never seeing anything like it before. I think I didn't breathe for like at least 5 minutes because I was just like in shock and wonder. I was just just oh my god! And just
you're overwhelmed.
There's so much.
This is too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
all too much.
There's so much to absorb and take in, and there's so many elements that are just amazing and stunning, and the cosplaying is just next level. And because it was my first time, I was like, I'll just wear like a cool Star Wars shirt. I'll just keep it casual for this one. But I was actually there's my lovely Empire Strikes Back shirt. But there was a lot of cosplays, and which I think is ridiculous to say, but I was overwhelmed by that. Like everyone, almost 90% of people cosplay, which is awesome because, like what I was saying before, I feel like cosplaying is such a world, and we've had lots of guests talk about cosplaying. And Nikk, you're into cosplay. Jordan, you're into cosplay. Like a lot of fandom and stuff. The Star Wars fandom is like a lot of it is cosplaying, and so it is actually this wonderful accumulation of all these fans coming together to love something, even if it's not the same show, movie, series, books, comics, or anything. There is this like shared, hey, we're like showing our love for this content or this media. And that was quite an overwhelming feeling, like in a good way. Because I like, do you guys know what I'm saying? Like this sense of like, hey, we're all in this, just showing our love for like what we love.
It's like
that was a cool feeling.
It's like going to Disneyland for the first time. You know what I mean? Or going to like a Disney park. You walk in and you're just like, oh, okay, sensory overload. Oh my God, there's Donald Duck. Wait, oh my God, there's Buzz Lightyear just hanging out over there. Like it's that sensory overload where you see the Marvel cosplayers, you see the Star Wars cosplayers, you see the anime cosplayers. I saw Lord of the Rings, I saw Halo, I saw my God, it was everybody. Yeah. And it's one of those things where you kind of just have to, at least for me, I had to stop. I had to take a second, and I just had to look at what was going on and be really present because it was like, this is the type of thing that like people dream about. Like they dream about being in environments where they feel safe, where they feel accepted, where they feel, that their nerdiness is not a detriment to their personality, but it's a celebration of who they are as a person. And being in that environment and being, around so many people that were just die hard, nerds and here for it. Yeah, you got to take a second and really just like enjoy the fact that like we live in a time where like this kind of stuff exists. Like, I don't know if Comic-Con's going to exist in 10 years or if it's going to be fully virtual. I don't know if, Funkos are going to exist in 10 years or if it's going to be fucking NFTs. Like, I don't know where all this stuff is going, and I want to enjoy
it. I hate NFTs so much.
Yeah. And that's it. It is such a... Yeah, that sense of acceptance. I love that word used. Like, I think there is such a sense of that, of, showing a part of your personality. And I always joke about this with my friends, but it's like, I had a harder time coming out as a Star Wars fan than I was coming out bisexual. Like, I genuinely was like, oh, no, sexually, that's fine. I don't care. Oh my God, I don't know how to tell people I love Star Wars. Like I genuinely had trouble with it.
Hannah, you're in a safe space. You could talk about your love of Star Wars.
Now I can like share my feelings. I can share like who I am.
So I know how she feels because when I went to work, when I first started the job I have now, I was like, I don't relate to these people in any way. It's just I'm not gonna get into why. Because that's a whole other topic. And I was like, I'm not, these people are not my up to speed. But then I was like, I literally showed up to work with this water bottle.
Oh, I love it.
Which is so dope, by the way. Like the stickers are dope.
Thank you. One of these stickers did not age well, but we don't have to talk about that right now. but it's on my cup, so like I can't. What was I saying before I started being shady?
Your work. You feeling
Yeah, so I was just like, I can't.
Jordan just as a person. It just anytime he starts talking, he's like, wait,
it's just incredible.
Yeah.
What?
But I I was like, damn, like these people are gonna think I'm fucking crazy. Turns out they think I'm crazy for a whole thought. Yeah, but turns out they think I'm crazy for a whole other set of reasons. So we're good. Yeah, we're good, I guess.
The sad part is that look at that. That's so cool.
No, I do have to make a confession here. I don't know if we can, I don't think we can zoom in, but if you look closely at my eyes, I am legitimately tearing up in this moment because this photo was quite a momentous photo because it is the first time in my life I had seen a stormtrooper in real life. And I got so overwhelmed that my eyes flooded with tears, and I was like completely welled up, going, "Oh my god, this is a real ass stormtrooper." But yeah, it goes again. It's insane that whole you get overwhelmed with emotion and of seeing these people in real life. Growing up seeing this on screen all the time, and then being able to touch their armor and be like, "Hey, Sandtrooper, can I get a photo with you?" Like it was just insane. It was just insane.
The rough part is that with with the acceptance and with being an environment where people genuinely enjoy being nerds, there's also the act. There's also the performance that people put on when they go to these things, whether that's an influencer or a cosplayer running a booth or a cosplayer that's taking their character just a little bit too seriously and like just being a bit uncomfortable. There's a fine line between that, and I think that
a bit seriously.
Oh yeah, but with every good con experience, there's like 17 bad ones.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's wild. And yeah, you go off, Jordan.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, I hate it. I mean, that's like I don't know, man. I just, especially, while the con environment could be so great and accepting and rewarding, it could be equal parts toxic and racist and all those other bad words that we use on Twitter and TikTok, especially for some of those creators. Especially if you look like me or Hannah over here, everyone deals with it in their own way. I'm not to say that Black people and women are the only ones who ever deal with it, but that's just who we, what I can relate to the most. I just don't. This week has just been so crazy alone because even though I'm not at a con, I'm on social media where those same people who go to cons are just acting a straight fool. Just acting a complete fool and making a complete fool of themselves. And it's like, dude, what is going on?
I mean, I'm guilty of that. Like, I'm guilty of that. I know when I went to LACon, I was a fool on social media, but like, I had to be.
Yeah, but I mean in like the worst way. Like, like gatekeeping and like just misogynistic and
we don't like
you don't know shit about Star Wars because you like the sequels and you don't understand good storytelling. I'm sorry. Doesn't your favorite movie have a Gungan in it? Like, come on. Don't talk to me.
Do not disrespect my Jar Jar like that.
Come on.
Don't.
He's amazing. He is gorgeous. but no, I totally get what you're saying there, Jordan. I think there's so much to say about the good parts of conventions, but there's always that negative. Like, it's similar to Force Awakens trailer, and people had a lot of reactions to a stormtrooper helmet coming off, and it was a black man, and a lot of people had a lot to say about that.
Excuse me, I'm still dealing with the blue shadow virus over here.
It's okay.
So like sometimes I'll forget to mute my mic before I cough, and it's like this whole thing. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. But as I was saying, there is that reaction because there was quite a few troopers around, and some of them were from the 501st and the Rebel Legion, in official capacities being there. But then there's also cosplayers, and I remember seeing there was a stormtrooper cosplay, beautiful, like homemade. Like I don't say homemade as an insult. It's more of like a wow, you put this work into like home make this outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A homemade stormtrooper, but she took her helmet off, and she had long hair. It was a woman, and she had long hair, and I remember thinking that was really dramatic, and that was amazing. That was so cool, just like lifting it off, like it was like a total badass move. Like I think like it was almost like a Fennec Shand kind of does that in Amanda, where she takes the helmet off and like her brain falls out.
Oh yeah, did she do the whole thing where she took it off and like shook her head and all of her hair came out?
I think I might have dramatized it to be like that. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was just like had this thought of like, that's really cool that there's no boundaries. Like if we were in a movie, of course, like everyone's gonna be like, oh, you can't have this kind of person being this character. But yeah, in the good sense of a convention, that can happen. But also good that can happen. But there's always those negative people that are like, that's not like accurate. It's like it's
like,
it's
dude,
not about being
who gives
accurate. It's about sharing love about
gives
it.
a damn about accuracy.
It's so hard because I went to a panel during the time all the content creators were invited to like different panels, and some of our friends that we all know on TikTok were hosting different panels, and I was like, I want to go to one. And so I went to this diversity and inclusion in the cosplay community panel, and they talked all about just the type of biases that you see in the cosplay community. And it was hosted by Straw Hat Juju and Jasmine Page Moore and the Filipina Latina, and all these amazing diverse cosplayers. And we get to the end of the panel, and everyone just had an incredible time. It was such a great panel. And we walk outside, and a group walks right by our group, and Jasmine, a black female, is dressed as Diva from Overwatch. And she looks amazing. She's got the headphones. She's got the blaster. She looks
amazing,
absolutely incredible. And a group walks by us, and I guess they just didn't think that we were paying attention. But I heard one of them whisper, "Wow, I can't believe she's Diva. She doesn't even look like Diva." And I was like, "We just did a whole shit."
I'm
like, what? And it was,
it's
that whole thing. And then you've got the whole other issue of like sexualization of these cosplays. And if you're not a pretty female, then you're not going to get any attention, on the main floor where they're doing all the photo shoots and stuff like that. And it's just like that whole part was even worse because it was this idea of like going to the main floor and like we're taking photos, everyone's getting their photo, everyone looks good, they feel good. And then it's like, no, it's the Black Widow in the corner that's a white lady that had a Brazilian butt lift and chest implants that's getting the most attention because she's the most sexualized right now. But it's like everyone else worked so hard on their costumes and they weren't getting attention because they weren't a conventionally attractive female or male. And it was just like, this is mind-boggling to me. This is absolutely mind-boggling.
So I'm going to say this real quick. And this is a challenge to any of those con video directors, videographers. I want you, when you go to these cons, to like think outside of what you want and what you think is going to get you thousands of billions in views on YouTube, and show what's really going on at these conventions and all these other characters. Because I watch these videos of like the conventions and why they're all cool and badass, and I want to be in one day. I need people who make those videos to like step it up and like, make sure that it's not just anyone who's the most accurate or the most sexy male or female. So that's my little challenge. That's my little challenge for photographers and videographers out there, Yeah.
And I can again completely agree with this because there was someone really well dressed as a slave Leia, and the amount of attention she was getting and amount of photos she was getting was just insane. And she was just never, like a fan,
That's never to say that the sexy cosplayers don't deserve the attention.
Exactly.
They work just as hard as everybody else, but they're not the only ones who work hard.
Is
what I'm saying.
And they're not the problem. Like they're not
Right.
the problem.
Yeah.
The problem
It's
isn't
not
the
the
sexy cosplayers. It's the fact that these creepos that walk in with like cameras and like want to take a picture
Be
of
like,
Yep.
hey,
the sexy
yeah. And
cosplayer.
it's like
That's the
ooh,
problem. It's
settle
like, is
down,
that
pal.
the
Settle
only
down.
reason you're taking that photo, or is it
Cool
because
Yeah.
you
cowboy.
like the costume?
Right? Chad, get in here.
Also, it's Hut Slayer Leia, not
Yeah, it's
not
not
the other
Slave
one.
Leia anymore. It's Hut Slayer.
Hut
Slayer.
Slayer.
Yep.
Oh, I love that. I was
Yeah.
not aware of that. Hut Slayer. Thank you. I did think when I said it, I was like, I feel like there should be another term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hut Slayer. That is 10,000 times better. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for that
Yeah.
correction. But yeah, no, that is an interesting facet of conventions. Yeah, where that and not in the same way of sexualization, but like what I mentioned before of like the homemade, when like you can tell like instead of like 3D printed like perfect paint job, it's like cardboard and masking tape. But for me, that's still as impressive and important because it's like,
Oh,
hey,
dude, I
you've,
follow
like,
so many people on
designed and-
TikTok.
yeah.
That's still
Who
cosplay.
use
Like
that
at the end of
kind
the
of
day,
stuff.
that's
Yeah.
still cosplay. It does not matter if it's made of paper. It doesn't matter if it's made of cardboard. I don't care if it's metal. I don't care what material it's made out of. It
If
is
it's
cosplay.
store bought, whatever it is, if that is your cosplay, guess what? That's your cosplay.
It's cosplay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Has-
I mean, I have a lot of people who are always like, they always message me whenever they follow me, and I follow them back because I try to follow a lot of people back just because I'm not above following.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
above not following people back on any social media platform.
Oh, that's T. That's T right there.
Yeah. So and the first thing a lot of them always say to me is, I want to cosplay a Jedi, but it's not going to be accurate, and I don't know how to make costumes. And I said, and I always have to tell them, I'm like, I'm going to let you in on a little secret that's not really a secret. All the stuff that I have, none of it assembled by me. None of it. It was made by other people, and I bought it, and the way I twist it, because people still don't seem to get it, the way I twist it is, I'm supporting local businesses. I'm supporting my creator business friends and stuff like that when I buy Jedi robes off Etsy and lightsabers from these different stores and stuff like that. Which, by the way, Imperial Surplus, they make armor. That's where my first set of Clone Wars Jedi General gauntlets came from. I will always love them forever.
They're really
I love
I only made the one purchase, but if they ever want to come on the show and talk
really
to
nice.
me,
Yeah,
They're
let's do
amazing.
it.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
I love them.
So I always tell them, like, dude, go on Amazon and order that $60 Jedi robe set, and you be the best Jedi you can be. I
Yep.
tell them that all the time, and they end up doing it. And I'm like, see, look at you.
But when people tell me that, like, I'm afraid if it's not going to be accurate, I tell them to look up a photo of Mara Jade, because all she wears is a black tank top and a brown scarf.
Yep.
Like, literally, you do
That's
not
right.
need to have robes to be a Jedi. You guys can literally just, like, get one of those super cool hoodies that goes down to your knees and put the hood up, wear some, black skinny pants with some combat boots, and boom, you're a Sith.
Right.
I just made your costume for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just
love
as
it.
good as
I love
anything out there.
Yeah, it's an insanely big world of cosplaying, and there's so much variety. Matt, I just wore Captain America and Vader hoodies to
Of course it
It counts. It
Yeah,
does.
right?
It
It
does.
counts.
Oh, I love that, Matt. That's awesome. That's so good.
What's gonna happen? They're gonna kick you out the convention?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
And talking about
Who's gonna
first
arrest you? The
experience-
cosplay police?
I wish.
Sips doesn't have his license yet. Oops.
I was still walking on the way to the convention in Sydney Olympic Park, and I was walking towards the line, got out of the station, not even at like outside the actual thing yet, but I was just like 100 meters away, a couple hundred meters away. And there I saw a completely fully dressed Chewbacca and I saw him from behind. I'm like, oh, that's epic. Like, yeah, fully dressed. It looked really realistic, great height. And then he turned around, and I don't know how I didn't get a photo, but he had two perfect coconut bra, like a coconut bra on. And
awesome.
it was just the most
awesome.
epic thing I've ever seen. So it's like, yeah, like I do appreciate the whole accuracy and seeing, like what I said, like, the 501st, like they're very clean and all that kind of stuff. Like that's impressive because you're like, oh, this is really realistic and all these kinds of things. But I also appreciate that of cosplaying, where you meld things together and you make it your own. I think it's such an expression. It's an expression. I think cosplaying. It's being creative and it's showing how you love something. So I think adding those flares, whether it's homemade or not, store bought, like we just said, I think it's an important part of being in a fandom.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nikk, tell us a little bit more about your experience with kind of Star Wars fans or Star Wars panels that you've been to.
Yeah, give us some of that tea.
Yeah,
that's what she really wants to say. I'll say it because Hannah's too nice. Go ahead and start spilling that tea so I can start spilling my tea and we can get to the real reason we're here today because I'm tired of y'all.
Let's get into it.
I will say that I have linked up with a group of Star Wars creators that I legitimately think are some of the best people I've met in the entire world. We have a group chat on Instagram, and it has a bad word in it, so I won't say it. It is called the Saber, and then it's an S word, and then we're just going to leave it at that. And so that group chat
That's mighty funny, Nikk. If it has some of the best people you've ever met in it, it's looking real. It's giving. That's not accurate because I'm clearly not in it.
Stop it.
So, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
It is comprised of a bunch of different lightsaber content creators that we do transitions and we review lightsabers and things like that. One of my very, very good friends, and I don't care that I'm name dropping her because she's my best friend, Carly King, Big Daddy Yankee, is in that group chat. And she is one of the best people I've ever met because she is so kind and wholesome and kind-hearted, and she legitimately looks out for everyone before herself. And one of our favorite pastimes is shit-talking Slayus, or better known Leia Martinez, on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram.
Let me tell you something. Thought I was the only one.
Nah, you're not the only one.
When I say that TikTok account does too much,
okay, so
does too much.
What the original story is? Leia and Carly used to be friends. They used to be friends. They used to be good friends. And Leia would continually tell Carly that Carly inspired her to like make Star Wars content and like make lightsaber content, make nerdy content. And they were friends for a very long time. And then when Leia started blowing up, doing all of her crazy lightsaber transitions that honestly, if I'm being completely honest, are a little mid in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there.
I need more tea.
I love it. You're filling my cup right now. Keep going.
You're
doing great.
So mind-blowingly average, but again, she's a conventionally attractive female, so everyone loves her. But she starts blowing up. She starts getting a lot of followers and getting a lot of clout. She starts changing up a bit on all of her friends, and it was about the time that her and the Senate group chat got invited to the Suicide Squad premiere in New York that she started acting different. And she basically created this dichotomy of it's either Carly or me, and that's who you're friends with. And that's what she said to like all of her friends. It was like, you're either friends with Carly or you're friends with me, and there's no in between. And a lot of people took that as like, oh, that's a huge red flag. And obviously ditched Leia because she started being very like, why are you commenting on Carly's videos? I thought we were friends. Or why are you liking Carly's content? I thought we were friends. And so one by one, she would like start to, I guess, cut people off in a sense. Like, you're no longer my friend. You support Carly. You support all of her friends' stuff. Like, we're not friends anymore. And I was like, all right, that like, I get it, cutting people off, but like, that's a really shitty way of going about it. But like, you're cutting people off. I get it. And then Leia started contacting Carly being like, why are you copying my videos?
Ooh.
And Carly was like, what? And it became this rivalry between them, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And apparently Leia called her one night and just bitched her out over the phone, calling her a lazy content creator and yada yada this, yada yada that, right?
Wow.
And so Carly like fell into a depressive spiral, as one would. I mean, your so-called friend just called you and basically told you that you're a piece of garbage. That's not fun. And so they had a falling out, and then people start taking sides. And then, of course, we have the incident where she decides to collab with David Dobrik and a bunch of sexual predators.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think we are allowed to mention David Dobrik on this show. I have to double check that. But since his name's already out there, I'm just gonna say no, thank you.
Chad, cut that.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. So I won't.
We'll clean it up in post, guys. It's all right.
Amazing. Great. Okay. I just want to mention his name, but we all know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
That whole situation went down and she collabed with him. And that became a very diversive point on social media where a lot of people were happy about it, but a lot of people were just like, are you out of your ever flippant mind? Like, what? And then, it started to become worse, and she started to become worse, and more people were like, yeah, no, I don't want to be friends with her. Like, this is god awful. And now she still has her following, but at least my friends are no longer a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, with those sort of things, it is what it is at that point. Like,
I do want to touch on a point where, because if we're talking about social media and we're talking about a lot of Star Wars content creators at the moment, there is a large realm of saber spinning and saber, transitions of videos, and you've done a bunch, Nikk, and amazing work, and it's quite a large part, but it's really funny because people kind of have that idea like they own it, or like they can do it, which really. Everyone is gonna have it. It was like the Jedi, like, not to be lame, but it's a safe space. I've come out as a Star Wars fan. It's okay, safe space. But it's like the literal Jedi. Like, imagine if Obi-Wan was just like, "Hey, Anakin, you can't hold the lightsaber like that. That's how I do it." It's like it's a style. You learn it. Everyone does it. Everyone enjoys it. Everyone does it their own way. It's like it's something that you own. And then being realistic in the real world as a creator, like it's something that you stylize, that you like to express, that you like to show, into social media. So it's fascinating.
It's become such a weird competition. You know what I mean? Like, you go to a saber spinning video and you see like, oh, this person did it better, or like this person did it better. And it's like, no, they just did it differently. Doesn't mean it's better or worse. Just means they did it. And it, like, when I did the whole Battlefront series during the summer, and did all of the animations and concept, and did all of the the attacks and all that stuff, I had people come.
Oh, you mean the series where certain Star Wars Instagrammers took your content without crediting you? That
too.
That series?
That was insane. That was insane.
That one where like
just making sure
different accounts took those videos and said, "Oh yeah, this is our content," even though it had my watermark on it. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh man!
But it's like when I did those videos, people were coming into my comments and being like, "Oh hey, this person did it first," and I was like, I don't give a damn who you did it first. I'm doing it now. Like, they don't own it. And it's like, I don't care if they did it better. I don't care if I did it in a weirder way. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm doing it because I like Battlefront 2 and I want to make content about it. And then it was like everything after that, it transitioned to people were tagging me in other people's Battlefront videos being like, oh yeah, Nikk did it better. And I'm like, no, I didn't do it better. I just got lucky and it went viral. Like, that's it. That's all it was. And it's just stuff like that just grinds my fucking gears. I'm just like, I'm so done with the competition. I'm so done with the drama and the amount of just absolute BS that content creators go through. I'm so done with it.
If there's so much in this world of the fandom that can be so negative and like everything what you just listed there, and it can be real, like what you say, it grinds your gears, and it does for a lot of fans. But so, in your opinion, Nikk, what do we need to change? Like, what needs to happen for a more positive fandom to emerge from this?
Oh my god, Everything needs to change. And I know it's like a cop-out answer, but like it started from day one. Like it started from when Musical.ly and Vine became like the big social media sensations where it's just like it's just a rat race to the top. Like so many people only care about getting to the top of their niche, you know, whether it's the top of the Star Wars niche or the Marvel niche or the anime niche, like whatever niche it is, like they only care about getting to the top of it and they don't care about creating for the sake of creating. And that's where the root of the problem stems from, because if you get a ton of people, right, and they like legitimately enjoy creating instead of worrying about how many views, likes, comments, or how much better that video is going to do than someone else's video. If you got a bunch of people that like solely liked creating, you would have some of the best content and the best videos on these social media apps, period. And that's just a fact, because they put more time and effort and love into each video than people who are just like, I'm sorry, but like there's some people out there that start every single video saying, we just got brand new news about blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, we didn't. That news came out 6 hours ago. You're just repeating what everyone already knows. Like,
yeah.
And then it's, you know, the people who do the stupid thing where they sit in their chair, right? And they hold their hands and they put the photo on top of them and they just point to the photo for 15 seconds with text in front of their face. And that's all their content. And I'm just like, how are people falling for this shit? Like, it's not content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much.
It's the hype. It's the hype.
Yeah.
The hype TikTokers are the ones that need to just stop doing what they're doing and embrace better content. And the people who call themselves self-titled journalists and reporters, you're not reporters. So that news leaked 6 hours ago. You're late. You're only doing it because you know it's going to get you views. You're not a reporter. Shut up.
Yeah. Coming from someone who has a degree in that, I agree.
Thank you. It's so hard. Like, it's so hard having like formal training, because I know, Jordan, you and I both have degrees in this field, and it's what we do, it's what we want to do, and yet we see some bum idiot sitting in front of like this lame ass background just saying, we just got brand new news about Spider-Man No Way Home. Like,
here's why Kathleen Kennedy's gonna quit for the 80th time this year.
Oh, I love that one.
Get out of here.
It's a classic. I love it. I'm like, oh really? Again, this is like the 4th time this week. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
he's so popular.
So fun. Oh, that's hilarious.
My experience on TikTok has been very interesting in the last few weeks. I can't talk. Sometimes the shadiness takes a toll, guys. It's fine. Just last week, Tom Holland did a Hot Ones, you know, for that movie that nobody knows about, Spider-Man, you know, that one.
Yeah, whatever. That indie movie coming out tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah, the indie movie, Underground.
Yeah. I think it was last week or the week before. I don't know when the episode aired, but it was revealed. He revealed and confirmed that he had auditioned for Finn in the sequel trilogy. And, you know, he was like, oh, John Boyega was much better for the role anyway, blah, 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 stuff like that. And the person who posted it on TikTok, I was like, and I was like, that's cool. I wonder what people are saying about it. And then I go look at the comments. The comments were turned off. And I was like, I wonder why. Then, you know, to quote Uncle Iroh from Avatar Last Airbender, I think he said this. Some wise old man said this in some show. If you go looking for trouble, you're gonna find it. So I go and I'm scrolling through this girl's account. Wonderful creator. I followed her after those couple of videos.
Drop her name. Let the people know who she is.
I forgot her name. So yeah,
man.
I'm not good with TikTok.
Guess we can't name drop. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm not very good with
accidentally can't.
I'm not very good at TikTok names for some reason. So basically, my worst fears were being realized. People were being racist towards John Boyega and bullying Finn fans. And I just it blows my mind how so many years later, The Force Awakens came out, the trilogy's wrapped and done, and years later, we're still going back and forth with people who have such a huge problem with John Boyega being in the movies that they claim to ruin Star Wars. And this is why when he had that GQ interview, when he was talking about how Daisy and Adam had their stories all planned out and everything was wonderful for them, but he didn't get the same treatment even though he deserved it. That's why I could not get behind sequel haters using that as an excuse to bash the movies. And I told everybody this, and people swore I was crazy. I said they're gonna flip, they're gonna turn on him in months. Give it several months.
Yeah.
And some news about behind the scenes of Star Wars is gonna come out pertaining to him. And they're going to turn on him. And look what happened just this week.
You know what is interesting though? You never hear about this kind of like hate towards Sam Jackson, Lando Calrissian, Mr. Billy.
That's
himself.
wow.
You don't hear that kind of hate. So
you don't hear it as much. But now I will say there's been a lot of anti-Mace Windu rhetoric that's been going on lately, and I'm not really sure what's going on. But what we not gonna do is disrespect the Mace.
Look at Chad.
Is what we not gonna do.
He did my girl wrong, though.
I don't care about any of that, Chad. You know Ahsoka's my girl, but what we're not gonna do is sit there and act like Mace Windu was such a horrible person because he said that Ahsoka was a citizen. Let me tell y'all something real quick about Mace motherfucking Windu.
Oh boy, here we go.
Mace motherfucking Windu said what he said, and he's not taking it back. Okay? Ahsoka said, "I'm just doing my job as a citizen," and Mace Windu said, "Okay, citizen." Guess what? He said what he said, and he's not taking it back. He don't care how you feel, and I don't care how you feel either. Because what we're not gonna do is disrespect a sitting member of the Jedi Council. Because y'all walk around and let Yoda be old and senile, pretend he's old and senile, when he could easily be blamed for half the stuff that happened in the Clone Wars. The whole council could be blamed for it. But y'all want to blame the council as a whole. But when it comes to Mace Windu, it's his fault and his fault only. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
I love it so much.
So what y'all gonna stop doing?
I can't breathe.
So what y'all gonna stop doing is that.
Oh, I can't breathe. That was incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've had it up to there. You can't see where I'm pointing, but I've had it up to here.
Oh, that was incredible.
Love it. Whew. What a time. What a show. Whew. Like
his full name is Mace Said What I Said Windu.
Said what I said.
The Jedi Master of not taking it back.
Oh, that's incredible.
I love it. I love it so much.
Because y'all sure would let Obi-Wan disrespect. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right now. I'm gonna stop.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
Stop.
I'm just saying. Y'all let Anakin cuss the Jedi Council out every week. And y'all ain't got nothing to say to him. Oh, he's being bullied. They don't trust him. No. Mace Windu said Ahsoka's a citizen, and y'all just lost y'all's fucking minds. I'm over it.
Evidently not.
Oh,
you just went on a tirade.
Yeah. Woo.
I'm over it.
Oh, so good.
Oh,
so
Yeah.
good.
So anyways, I don't like how people are treating John Boyega. Back to my original point. Stop it. Get some help. I mean, like seriously. It's just it's mind-boggling to see, because to an extent Nikk is right. You don't see this kind of rhetoric with Mace, Orlando, or Billy D and Samuel Jackson. So what's the disconnect?
What do you? Yeah.
And I find myself wondering this on a much larger scale. And what I mean by that is television in general. In the early 2000s, you had all these shows where there were black leads and Latina leads and, you know, all that kind of stuff for diversity was low-key kind of popping. And then those shows went off air and it's like mediocre. Everyone looked the same, and I'm not gonna say how they looked the same. Wait, yeah, like they looked like Nikk. And so I just find myself wondering these days, what's the disconnect? Like, why did we stop caring about the stories of people who look like this? And only the people who look like that. Where is he? I can't, you know.
Other way, yeah.
And that's just insane to me. And one of the things I realized, especially about Star Wars, is people I'm sorry.
It's that last bit of hate for the
exactly
coming up out of him.
I don't lost my train of thought again. Okay, so the reason why people don't, one of the other reasons why there's not such hate and like this field of just hatred and racism towards Mace and Lando is because their parts weren't as big as Finn's needed to be. And because, you know, if you think about it, Lando was only in the next two movies, and he wasn't like, he had a bigger role in Return of the Jedi, but you didn't really see him till the second act of Empire Strikes Back, and you didn't see him at all in The New Hope. And so it's easy for people who shit talk John Boyega and just black people in general to just kind of write them off as these secondary characters who come in to help move the plot along and then leave, or come in the middle of it to help the plot move along. And now, okay, they're kind of there. Great, I guess. But when you throw John Boyega right at the beginning and he's Finn and he's going to be, you know, he's set up to do all these great, wonderful things, and he's a stormtrooper, and everyone's like, how freaking dare you? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like you were giving them too much. It was like too much to ask that 100%. A black person got more screen time than Mace and Lando combined.
Well, and also like another issue with the whole hate on John Boyega thing is a lot of people that are hating on the sequels, at least from what I've seen, their biggest issue that they quote is I don't identify with any of these characters. And I'm like, good. You're not supposed to. Like, these films are not meant to be cookie cutter. They're not supposed to be, you know, oh, Rey is a surrogate and everyone can identify with her. No, it's supposed to be for young, badass women who feel alone and find their family as they live, not by what they're given, not by you know what they grow up with, but with what they find along the way. Finn is not meant to be a role model for young white men. He's meant to be a role model for young black kids who want to find themselves on the screen, who want to see themselves in a character and see that it is not always about the demonization of the black man, but it is that he is a hero and that he is the good part and he is the hero of that story. You know, it's not about if you identify with them or not. If you don't, great, that character's not meant for you then. Move on. Identify with somebody else. Like, if your sole hatred for the sequel series is that you cannot identify with any of these characters, then you need to reevaluate why you actually hate these movies or why you hate these movies. You need to reevaluate your criticisms, because 9 times out of 10, it's mainly because you don't like another aspect of it. You're just finding something to blame.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not like every story is made for everybody. Like,
I
don't relate to this story, but this story I relate to, for example, like,
Hmm.
and I was like, I like this one, you know,
Hmm.
somebody else likes this one, and that's made for
Yeah,
them.
there's other people
It's
that
like,
will
I,
relate. Yeah.
I will say The Last Jedi is not my favorite sequel movie, but not for the reasons why people hate The Last Jedi. It just doesn't jive. I prefer Rise of Skywalker way better.
Yeah.
But Nick, it's your favorite. You love it, and that's good on
See,
you. That's good.
yeah, that's like a good
I
example.
respect you for
Yeah.
loving that movie,
Yeah.
and I like it. It's a good movie. I just not my favorite one of the three. So it's like, why should I hate you for loving a movie that I don't like
I mean, that's the
as
question.
much as
When
you?
did the Star Wars community lose respect for each other? When did that happen?
Yeah.
When did that happen? Because it really feels like the second the sequels came out, everyone was so A or B, black or white, and it was like, if you like this movie and I don't, I hate you, and that's just the end of it. It's like, when did we become so A and B? I remember in the prequel area, everything was gray area. It was like, oh yeah, this movie's good, but there's some bad parts, and oh, this movie's bad, but there's a lot of good parts to it. It's like everything was in this gray area, and now it's just you like it or you don't, and each side hates each other.
Yeah, but also like in the prequel era, it was still like, oh, you like the prequel movies? I hate you for liking the prequel movies. Like, oh, you like Jar Jar Binks? Well, why do you like Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, I feel like the Jar Jar example
it
like
literally
what's happened here, but on times 100.
Yeah.
The sequels. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every concept and every character is a Jar Jar for the sequel trilogy. Like if you like anything about it, it's like you were the worst. Like that's what people love to say. Oh, you like that thing? You suck. That's because you like it. You know, it's just like, what is that thinking? Yeah.
I don't know if we will ever get back to that point of just being able to respect one another, because everyone's got an opinion, and social media has given people the courage to post that opinion and garner a community that agrees with that opinion, and it manifests itself, and it's like a hydra. You cut off one head and two more appear. You can cut one hater down and then three more appear and tell you that you're wrong. And I don't know if we're ever going to get back to a point where we can look at each other and say, you know what, you like the Phantom Menace, and that is your right. I'm okay with it, and that is that's my right. I don't know if we're ever going to get back to that point. What I do hope is that whatever Star Wars movies come forward, and this goes for any nerd fandom, not just Star Wars, but like every nerd fandom, whenever movies start to come out, I hope we get to a point where the movie can come out. People are allowed to form their opinion around said movie, TV show, book, whatever it might be. Have respectful conversations with one another about said piece of media, and be able to be mature enough about it to say, you know what, I disagree with what you're saying, but can you explain further as to why you agree with that? It's like for the people who really, really hate Revenge of the Sith. I don't know a lot of them, but some people really, really hate Revenge of the Sith. I don't want to be the guy who's just like, I don't know how you can hate Revenge of the Sith. I want to be the guy that goes, okay, can you explain your discrepancies with it and why you don't like it? I want to get to that point in the nerd fandom. It's years away, miles away.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that going forward with these movies that come out, with Rian Johnson coming back out with more Star Wars movies, with Taika Waititi potentially, making a Star Wars movie, the wacky, wild shit of Star Wars, I hope that those movies inspire a lot more conversation than they do conflict. And it's a big ask. I know it's a big ask, but I'm hoping that we can get to that point.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so too. Oh, that was good. Go off, Nick. I think we should all take something away from that. That was really good. That was
I mean, I had the disappointing, unfortunate pleasure of having to block a longtime mutual on my TikTok account because he was just going off on another mutual about why we don't hate the sequels, and it was just a mess. And he said his opinions were facts, and we were disrespectful for disagreeing with them. And I had to lay into him and said, dude, you're acting like a fool. Like, stop. this is ridiculous. And he was like, well, I think blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, unfollow and block. So, but hopefully we get to a point one day where we can all coexist and be happy, But until then, I'm going to vibe in my little corner of Star Wars friends and fans. And that's just going to have to be that. Mace Windu said what the fuck
Nice
he said.
little
Y'all going to have to
bubble
deal
of
with it.
acceptance.
Yeah.
Mace said what he said. Windu.
He said what he said.
I want that on a
Anyways.
shirt.
That'd be an
Yes,
amazing
me
shirt.
too.
Just,
Oh.
I said what I said. Windu.
And
Oh,
he
I
did
love it.
and
I love
did.
it.
But yeah, unfortunately, everyone, that is all the time we have for today. Nikk, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Oh, such an awesome time.
Please tell our friends and fam where they can find you on your social media.
Yes, I have recently done a rebrand. Jordan knows about this, but I recently did a rebrand where I've changed everything to _Nikk Downs _. It used to be ups and downs, but I thought it was time to be a bit more professional. And so I've done a rebrand.
Cohesion. I like it.
Cohesion, making everything the same.
Cohesion.
All socials. I believe the only thing that isn't this is Twitch, but I don't use Twitch. So
It's fun.
I messaged the guy that has the just @Nikk Downs Instagram and TikTok. He's got 3 followers on both. I don't know who he is, but I want it. And I told him that I would pay him for it. So we're going to see if I can get it.
We'll see what happens. That's hilarious. I love
yes,
it.
all my socials are _Nikk Downs _. I would love to see you. I do a lot of fun stuff. I have a big goal for the first 3 months of 2022. I'm going to be doing weekly live streams. So hopefully doing 4 live streams a month, whether that be on TikTok or Twitch, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to get more and playing some more video games and starting to stream with my friends. So a lot of big things coming for 2022, and
Love
hopefully we're manifesting a Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi world premiere.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that.
me too. Because I'm trying to be at one of them. I'm trying to be there. Listen,
I love it.
Disney, I love you. I defend you every week. Notice how I just defended y'all just now and earlier. I got one more question. And it's okay if you don't know the answer now because you'll probably be back on the show before then.
I love that.
But are we going? I mean, am I going to see you at Star Wars Celebration in May?
I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna be there too.
You guys.
Just
Guys,
say yes.
you will 100% be seeing me in Star Wars Celebration 20.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
So
Yeah,
good.
we're working on it too. We're gonna.
Yes. I'm venturing across the seas to come there. I'm not going to swim. That sounded like I was swimming there. I'm not going to swim.
Could you imagine?
That would be great.
Hannah, I was expecting you to get in like one of those old time boats, like with the giant sails and stuff like that. Sail there,
Yes.
take many,
Like the Pirates of
many
the
days.
Caribbean
Yeah, like
ship.
a pirate.
Yeah.
But not the big one, the tiny one that Jack Sparrow has that has like the one mast, just the tiny one person one.
Just me standing at the front.
Yeah.
The telescope, just aha!
Yeah.
But with that being said,
Terrible,
thank you
terrible.
once again. You can find our social media at SW Culture Pod, like I said before, and Culture Slay on everything, every social media imaginable. Just type in Culture Slay and you'll find it. We are going to be live here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We have a Patreon once again. It's called patreon.com/cultureslay. I'm running out of breath. I need to hurry up. But yeah, that's all for this week, guys. Thank you guys so much for the 8 billion time. I'm going to say thank you. And may the force be with you.